Hey everybody, I'm Chris and this is Chris Creates the World. Thanks for tuning in today. So about a month ago, I moved to Essen, Germany. And so I've been a little inactive here. I apologize for that, but thank you for sticking around. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up as promised, but I did take a bit of time to get adjusted to a new country and to a new job and a lot of that kind of stuff. There's been a lot. But it's been really good and I've really enjoyed this month. And a few of you guys asked some questions over on Instagram. I decided I'd answer those here in this video as well. As a quick overview, I now live here in Essen, Germany. I believe it's the 9th biggest city in Germany or something like that. But by American standards, not that big of a city, but everything's really well connected and it's definitely a change from the suburban life that I've lived most of my life. So over here in North Rhine-Westphalia, there is a few different places. This is kind of the Ruhr region based off the Ruhr River, and it's right by the Rhine River as well. Hence the name North Rhine-Westphalia. The biggest city kind of in the area is Cologne. That's where most people will have heard of. Dusseldorf is also nearby, and then the soccer or Fußball capital of northern Germany, Dortmund, is super nearby as well. Really close to the Netherlands and the Belgium border. And I've already been to Belgium for a metal festival since I've been here. So a lot of pros to living here, a lot of fun opportunities that arise, and it's just a bit different. So I think one of the biggest things that everyone will tell you when you go to the grocery store, that's kind of the first biggest culture shock that everyone experiences. People behind you and the cashier, everyone is there for efficiency, German efficiency. They'll be checking out and just quick and throwing it down at you, and you have to hurry and put it in your bag, otherwise you're holding up the line. It's been kind of a fun challenge for me, to be honest. I've kind of taken it as enjoyment rather than too stressed. One thing that does really annoy me though, usually the supermarkets are fine with this, but a lot of the other little places, a lot of these smaller little shops and stuff, there's a good chance that they will only take cash. Why, Germany? Come on, please. If you're used to just card and everything, it can be annoying, especially if you get a bunch of coins back. But the good news is you can usually take these coins and buy more stuff at the little kiosks or whatever. In the US, I don't carry cash at all. I might carry an emergency $20 bill. But here it's kind of like you've got to, otherwise you might be in trouble. Overall though, the transition has been pretty good. I did spend a month here last summer, and so it's not like big stark reactions. Americans first time in Germany. It's not necessarily like that because I've spent some time here. A lot of stuff still is new. It takes getting used to, especially now after about a month. It's starting to be a little bit less like I'm traveling around and a bit more like I'm settling into normal life. Not to say that it's not an adventure, because it still is, and I get to do a bit of fun travel, and which we're going to do on some weekend trips and stuff. We're going to go visit the cities I mentioned earlier, Dortmund, Dusseldorf, stuff like that, show you a bit around the Ruhr area. But working in Germany has been really positive, really good so far. I don't know if that's just the company culture or country culture. It's hard to tell, but I feel like everyone here seems to like Germany quite a bit. I mean, obviously everyone voices their distastes and everything, but overall a lot of people really like it here, and that's evidenced by the diverse makeup of the population. Now the US is quite diverse, but I'm from a part that is not very diverse. It's really fascinating for me to come here and meet people from Turkey and Iraq, China, and other places are here in the Schengen zone, from Spain or Portugal. There's a friend I know that's part Chilean. Pretty fascinating, just kind of how mixed it is. I feel that is especially so in this part of Germany. There's a lot of immigrants and expats here from all different places around the world, even places like the UK. Fascinating place to be, and we're so close to other countries here as well. So I think this will be a good time to get into your guys' questions. First questions are kind of the technical ones. How's your new job? Thanks for asking. It's going pretty well. I love using the skills that I've developed here on this channel and being able to apply them in a different setting. The next question, how was the visa process? So I was actually pretty lucky. The company I'm working for hired a relocation specialist to help out, and as part of that, they had immigration lawyers that helped me go through the whole process. Few people at my new job tell me that this was like record time. I went through the visa process super fast, and that is, I think, partially because I pushed it every chance that I got. Anytime I could push the process along, I did. But also having the lawyers go over it and make sure everything was in line, I think helped, especially for a country that is notorious for their bureaucracy. But that being said, the immigration process is not over. It takes about 3 to 6 months to get your residence permit so you can stay here. It's a whole fascinating scenario. So you get your visa that you apply for, and then you're legally allowed to work here in Germany. And then you have to go to the Ausländerbehörde, or the foreigner's office, and apply. This is where I live. You get your identification number and all that stuff, and your tax number, and then you take all of that and you go to the city hall. You apply for your residency. And so that's not citizenship, it's a bit different. It's just saying that you are a resident here, you live here, you're not just a seasonal worker, so to speak. Still in the middle of all that, but the visa itself actually went through fairly smooth. Take that as a win. And then a couple questions here about food. What's my favorite German dish? What's the best food I've had so far? And I think like those would be really good questions for last year and my trip around Europe that I did. If you want to see me try some German food, I'll put up in here when I went to Munich and the beer garden and the English gardens. Some fun, authentic German food that I really liked. And then at the end, I'll put a video up here of me going into Baden-Württemberg and trying schnitzel for the first time. So that was super good. So I'd say those are probably the best two German dishes, but I haven't really had those since I've been here. That's a lie. I made schnitzel once at home from the grocery store, which was actually pretty good. So on the way here from the airport, my Uber driver was telling me that this area in Essen specifically has some of the best Arabic food. I was super excited to try that because ever since I went to Dubai, I've loved Mediterranean food and Arabic food and anything like that. Baba ganoush, all that good stuff. I mean, the obvious is the doner, right? That's Turkish. It's not quite Arabic, but similar. Like that's sort of like a Turkish burrito for Americans. Think of it that way. It's a little bit different flavors and stuff, but it's similar. But I would say overall, like the Turkish food, I've tried one or two restaurants and that's been super good. I am also on a mission to find the best pizza here in Essen. Tried a few places so far. Maybe I'll come back to you all with that. So if you guys are curious about how the pizza situation in Essen is, comment down below and I'll try and include a bit more of that when I make my first Essen vlog here in the coming weeks. So Arabic food is what I would say is my favorite food so far. And best German food, schnitzel is pretty hard to beat, I'm gonna be honest, but I love sauerkraut as well. And then, you know, the bratwurst, there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Watch one of these two videos in the end. Have you assimilated well? Do they accept you well, or is there some pushback? And I would say it's been overwhelmingly positive. As a native English speaker that doesn't know German, pretty much everyone, especially where I work, speaks English, so that's super convenient for me, as well as most people at other places. When I'm at the grocery store or checking out at something, if I don't have enough German to kind of keep up, and I say, you know, like, sprechen Sie English, they usually can help, but I try to push through that because a little bit goes a long way. If you just say like, oh, hallo, ich heiße Chris, ich bin neu zu Deutschland, aber ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, aber es ist nicht so gut, spreche langsam bitte. They'll be like, oh my goodness, that's amazing, like your German's so good. It goes a long way if you just try a little bit. But I'd say for the most part, I haven't had too many issues. Like France is notorious for like, even if they speak English, they don't really like to. Whereas Germany, everyone's mostly happy to help. But there's been a few people that haven't, especially people like immigrants that come over and they have to learn German first. The main focus is on German, which rightfully so. So if they speak 3 languages, it even blows me out of the water and I feel stupid because I only know 1. But I would say overall, I'm pretty accepted. Some people, you know, last summer told me like, oh, I look like I belong here anyways. Like I look German. I don't know how true that is, but for the most part, I don't stand out too much. There are times when I'm wearing my flat brim hat on the bus and my shorts or whatever. And it's like, this guy's not from here, is he? He looks different. But at the same time, I don't know. Someone told me that once. It's like, only Americans wear shorts. And it's like, I've seen evidence that's false. I got really fixated on this idea of, oh, I can't look too American when I go out. I'll be a target for pickpockets, and you might be, but also just be safe. Overall, assimilated well so far. There hasn't been too many issues. I've even found a long-term apartment, and they were able to kind of help. I speak as much German as I can. They speak as much English as they can, and it's pretty nice. But that being said, if you're in Germany or if you move to another country, you should probably try and learn the language. Pro tip. Which leads into another question, how easy or difficult has the communication been? And honestly, that's, I feel like, been the biggest issue that I've had. And it's more so come from an internal perspective. I feel a little less likely to go out of my comfort zone and talk to other people and make friends. I feel a bit like, oh, I need to be better at German before I go out and speak because I don't want to be that ignorant American that says, sprechen Sie English, and really doesn't try. I'd say overall, it hasn't been like a ruining problem, but it's kind of more holding my own self back. I'm kind of an outgoing person and I like to meet people. So I'd say overall, it's pretty good, especially I have a decent knowledge of German compared to the average American that's been here for a month. Which brings me to another question. What do you miss the most about the US and what do you not miss the most? And so I would say a bit of that, being able to just go and freely speak to people, or, you know, like having a lot of friends around. Moving to a foreign country that's like an 8-hour time difference, it's definitely a bit isolating from your peers and loved ones. That being said, we're also at the best time in human history for being able to talk to people. We got Instagram we can chat on all day, we got WhatsApp we can chat on all day, Facebook Messenger. It's easy to talk to people around the world. Not that big of an issue. It's different, you know, because you're removed. And so I'm kind of starting to feel that a little bit, but at the same time, I have new experiences and I can reach out and talk to my friends every day if I need to. As far as that though, like 4th of July was a big one that I missed. This is 2 years in a row. German 2 here with the thumb and the finger. 2 years American, 2 years German. So that's been sad, but it's also a really unique perspective to experience the 4th of July somewhere else. But it was kind of fun. I was able to take in a apple pie. It was an Apfelstrudelkuchen, an apple strudel cake. Kind of made a joke about like, happy 4th of July. I wanted to bring you all something. For me, it's a holiday. And people always appreciate sweets and food at work. What do I not miss the most? I would say this is a good point that I talked about a lot last year. The train system is phenomenal. Yes, it's Germany, all the trains run late. If you accept that fact, life gets better. But overall, just having the ability to use the train. I've been to Cologne already to visit a friend there. I've been to Dusseldorf to see a coworker perform in a band already. It's amazing. You know, you don't need a car to live in Europe. And again, that's not a new topic. If you watched any videos about the differences between Germany and America, that's super common. And when you move over here and live it, it's pretty fascinating, especially as someone who is so reliant on a car in suburban America. I don't need one. I don't technically need the trains either. I live close enough, but it's super nice to be able to get out and just easily use public transport. And it's treated very differently in the US as well. In the US, public transport is kind of everyone's, and so the US mindset is that it's no one's, and so we break it. No one cares, and people treat it poorly because it's not your own. Whereas in Europe, the mindset is much more, it's everyone's, and so it's mine, it's ours. Let's take care of this and use it together. So I'd say that's a big thing that I don't miss, is that mindset and lack of public transport. How many times have you been lost, Chris? Mentally? Always lost. No, but for the most part, honestly, I rely heavily, so heavily on Google. Google Maps, Google Translate, they are both game changers, make it super easy. Even an idiot can go abroad and live abroad and navigate everywhere. If I can do it, you can do it too. It will lead you astray sometimes, or it might not have all the right info, but for the most part, I would say it's pretty dang good. Like, you can look up the best routes and it'll tell you what platform the train is on, what time it's leaving. It'll show you what the name of the final destination, so you can go to that train. It'll show you all the places it's stopping. It's super integrated with the train system. That's for most places here in Europe that I've found as well. You can also double check it with the Deutsche Bahn app, which was a pro tip a friend gave me, and that's been super useful. So you can check it out on there as well. I would say physically lost, actually really not that often, but I also love maps and knowing where I'm at. So like, even if I just go on a walk, sometimes I'll pull out Google Maps and just see where I'm at. I use it quite a bit. I usually know where I'm going, and I have a pretty good mental map most of the time. That's one of my strengths. Physically lost, never. Mentally and language-wise, always. How do I fill my free time was another question. It's a big adjustment, honestly, and so a lot of times I'm just trying to figure out work or language or whatever. Getting used to everything, I've kind of gone on walks, like I've said, to kind of figure out where everything's at, where home is. So my initial Essen video won't be a full reaction video. It won't be, American goes to Essen for the first time. It's gonna be more, this is the cool things that I've found or cool things that other people have told me about. So that's been how I've filling my free time so far, and trying new restaurants, searching for that best pizza in Essen. And the final question, when are you coming to Scotland? Well, Lost in Travel, hopefully soon. We'll see. You guys don't know Lost in Travel. He's a good friend of mine. I was able to meet him in Cologne. Showed that on Instagram a few weeks ago. He has like travel content. He's doing what I did last summer, an interrail through Europe, and is actually just graduating. So he has like what I did. He's a really cool guy. He's got that Scottish accent.
I was gonna say Guten Morgen, but that's good morning. That's the evening.
Yeah, Guten Abend. So go check out his stuff. Plug in a friend here. But that's gonna wrap up this week's video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. A reminder, I do have Amazon links in the description down below for all of my travel gear, backpacks, paddleboard stuff, cameras, all that. If you want to check it out, go down there, see what you got, find something nice for yourself. And like I told you, we do have some of those fun videos coming up where we're going to Essen, Dortmund, Dusseldorf, probably go to Cologne again, and check out some more of the Ruhr area. So make sure you click that subscribe button, come hang out, and let's have a good time together. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Much love. Thank you so much for the 400 subscribers. I hope I can bring you much more valuable content. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. And remember, there's a reason that you have your dreams. If you want to move to Germany, you want to develop content creation skills, if you want to go travel someplace cool, there's a reason that all of these things are in your head. You determine your dreams and your destiny. So if you got anything from today's video, I hope it's the courage to get out there and go create the world.